This is Camnet Television News. Welcome to the news. To present, my name is Jeffrey Siambo. Top stories in the news tonight. Police officers allegedly assault a bus driver. A mining association challenges government not to hand SUGILITE to foreign investors. Healing Word Ministries presiding Pastor Moses Chiluba says ignorance is costly. In international news, Kenyan family demand answers over police killing. And in sports news, South Africa loses their opening match at the FIFA World Cup.
Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters this coming Monday, 24th July 2023, as they discuss honoring our national heroes.
The Constitution of South Africa. And yet when Mr. Paul Osaka died, Zambia did not even celebrate that hero. He went to the grave, plain coffin provided for by the government of South Africa. And Zambia is one country where we do not sing songs for our heroes.
With his guest, Mr. Fabian Mumba.
Where we see certain things going wrong, I think let's speak behind the scenes. Now I'm here like a but I think my conscience will be clear, but I've told you.
Time, 20:45 hours.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
The news in detail. A bus driver operating at Lusaka's Kulima Tower bus station has accused some police officers manning the Central Business District, CBD, of harassment after allegedly beating him and snatching 400 kwacha, citing contravening of traffic rules. George Nkonti claims about 5 police officers pounced on him after he made a U-turn at Afe Crossroads after Kulima Tower bus station and grabbed the 400 kwacha from him. He has since appealed to government to keep the police officers operating from the CBD in check to avoid denting the name of the president due to alleged illegalities they are committing. Zambia police officers have been stationed in Lusaka's CBD since July 18, 2023, in a move to maintain sanity after vendors were removed from the streets. More in the following report.
Police officers have continued to maintain their presence in the Central Business District, CBD, following the 18th July operation to remove street vendors and stop contravening by minibus drivers. But now, some police officers operating at Afe Crossroads near Limatawa bus station have been accused of harassment by a bus driver operating in the station. George Koti claims he was beaten by 5 police officers who also grabbed a 400 kwacha from him after he allegedly contravened traffic rules at this spot.
Bale tuchitalazi bale tuma ngamwalolesha pageti hapa bale isala pageti ngaba isala pageti tula mkushinguluka kulia kuangilayo ni kulia so pakuisa pala bale block musibo ngawaka na pale wala ndo kweba ina banchita mugati bale tukongera mugati bambo kutuma ngaba ikata motoka bale mkupakinisha kuangilayo ni kulia bale tupokenda la mama 700 ma 500 ine ne uli pano bampokelenda la mailo 400 kwacha na motoka basenda na bonse abantu epo bali.
Mr. Koti says police officers pursued him back into the station and went with his minibus, which he later picked up and reported the matter to the police.
Umulandu washile ntwala pa pali matawa pa bali kana bangolo maba officer in charge bapa bebiri umulandu nshuishibe polisi wampokelenda la mani muishiba efyo beshile mkushita kuno tamuishibe abantu makadazi ba PF balabayingishe mu PF na wanda tabakweti ama manazi ya polisi ba polisi wa batrendi afuira ishibe fya arrest na fya kongeri so police to papa the boys tumvweni kokuno batuchusha babantu.
This reporter went to the spot where the alleged U-turn occurred and found police officers stopping minibuses from engaging in the vice. Limatawa driver's chairperson Nicholas Banda, when contacted for a comment, promised to investigate and issue a comprehensive statement later. Police spokesperson Leah Monga says police will investigate the incident as not even a police officer is allowed to take the law in his or her hands.
We'll investigate that matter and see whether the allegations is leveling against officers are true or not. And if it found that officers really committed that atrocity, then there will be sensitive action will be taken against them. Because we have said if someone commits an offense, you have to supposed to give him a charge sheet, which will actually give him 7 days to decide whether to pay there and then, or after 7 days, if they don't agree with the allegation, then the matter goes to court. No one is allowed to be the jury and the court, the arrestants and the court at the same time.
Camnet News, Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
Residents of Nkonkwa village in Chisamba district of Central Province have called for investigations on how the over 200,000 kwacha allocated for the construction of the bridge in the area has been utilized. In an interview with Camnet News, the residents have complained that the quality of works that have been done on the bridge are below par and that materials used are not of good quality. Meanwhile, senior headman in Nkonkwa says the bridge will likely be washed away during the rainy season due to the poor workmanship, further calling on the relevant authorities to follow up the matter with the urgency it deserves. More in this report.
This is the state of the Kawaya Bridge in Nkonkwa village of Chisamba district in Central Province few months after the bridge was constructed using the 2022 Constituency Development Funds, CDF. The villagers in this area are however not happy with the quality of works that have been done, fearing that the bridge might be washed away during the rain season, hence calling on the authorities to do an investigation to ascertain how the over 200,000 kwacha alleged to have been allocated for the construction of this bridge has been utilized.
So manje akamba wakansela aboti uza kuti ndamo ya CDF zachoka wanabwera zakawa mabridge watusa makavedi watenga makavedi waenda for 3 months wabwera wafaka cheka ovedi so atile concrete na kuyenda wanagreba wale papo level wakamba wazapo atile concrete limana endera up to date temperatures.
It was a bookstone that was used and it has ground to powder, and already it is showing potholes on top there. And then when the water comes, it will wash away, leaving only bare culverts. And that will shorten the lifespan of the culverts.
Now, imumweka mkaona, kuoneka bwanji kuna, ilo komboni inoyenda ikula. Now, government titandizeni, tigani zile knife ndife vantu monga mwamene muliri.
Meanwhile, village headman in Nkonkwa says the bridge was constructed using small steel bars and wonders why the road, which is also in a poor state, has not been worked on despite an assurance that over 200,000 was released for the construction of the bridge, as well as part of the road which it says becomes impassable during the rain season.
Oh no! Mbobaka 7 sapa bridge tatuna kukondwa. So patowa nekai pakaya boro 30 million njaka yao ndalama shonse tatushwene kushakaya. Bridge yona mwesa beshi kupima bridge wakese wakaipime ila kuchayoro bantu chino chaka. Para kufa abantu banji. Ndalama sho so wakatruita kwamba CDF nangwa CDF nangwa yo ayaswa 250 million tutomambira bridge.
Meanwhile, in order to ease movements, community members in this area also contributed resources for the construction of this footbridge, which the community fears may not stand the test of time, hence calling on the government to also consider allocating resources for the construction of a better bridge at this crossing point before the onset of the rain season.
Kuno road, fina road na bridge. Na tuchura kuno na clinic itakuwa muno na police tatwa kwata.
Meanwhile, Mungule Ward Councillor Kelvin Mutende, when contacted, says the bridge was done at a cost of 247,000 kwacha and states that he has on several occasions engaged the community to write to the Ward Development Committee on which projects they wish to see in their area, but that no one has so far submitted any minutes for their meetings.
When the time the bridge was completed, I've not received any report. So I'm getting this report from you. So in this case, I think I'll ask the engineers from Chibombo to go on the ground and do maybe to monitor the host and the project.
Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
Residents of Katuba in Chiwombo district of Central Province have called on government to construct a first-level 1 hospital in the area, stating that it is challenging to access healthcare services. The residents have told Camnet News that they are forced to cover 5 kilometers for them to access healthcare services at Matero or Chipata Level 1 Hospital in Lusaka. They have also challenged the area Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa to look into their plight. Meanwhile, the area Member of Parliament has disclosed that plans for the construction of a hospital in the constituency have been submitted awaiting provincial approval. Here's a report.
These are residents of Katuba in Central Province who carry the hardship of ailments that lack treatment, and hope is sliding away like sand through weak fingers. In 2015, all United Nations member states adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with goal number 3 of the SDGs, focusing on ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all at all ages, whose target includes achieving universal health coverage, including financial risk protection, access to quality essential healthcare services, and access to safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines by 2030. But 8 years after Zambia committed to the 2030 agenda, residents of Katuba are calling for the construction of a nearby hospital. They explain that it is challenging to seek medical attention when unwell, as the only nearby hospitals are in Matero and Mandevu constituencies. The residents are seeking the intervention of the government to construct a hospital nearby, explaining that it is costly for them to seek medical attention, especially at night.
Hospital na kliniki tutalimpira maningi na polisi yonse pano palibe, so kuno constituency au si tipempa ko tipempa mwandi tapapata president tiganizireni tianganireka Katuba kuno tilipo lo kliniki chape lo polisi eka palibe, so na ise pano tikumbukireni koni takutika talema matenda kuchizwele hospital tipempa tianganireni koni government tapempa amutupo kliniki twa papa tatuto yako 15 twalema bana katwala wa school wafunika chachani first pa clinic ndio tuwe ma transport ya kwenda kwa yosha kama ina solo government area government.
But area Member of Parliament Mwabashike Nkulukusa says plans to construct a hospital in Katuba have already been tabled before the provincial administration, awaiting approval. Mr. Nkulukusa is optimistic that the construction of a hospital, once approved in Katuba, will ease the health challenges the residents are faced with.
Because also there is enhanced human capital in terms of medical staff that will come there. But ultimately we need a level 1, level 2 hospital. Because then that comes with a lot of other facilities, like the Matero Level 1 hospital. You have a mortuary, you have everything that go with such a facility. And we believe that the yardstick usually is that once the population of certain area exceeds 100,000 people, then they... We believe that we are under Central Province, and we believe that under the decentralization, the ministry is working on places where to put such hospitals, and we are hopeful and prayerful that Katuba will be one of the areas that is considered when it comes to that.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News.
The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency has confiscated assorted products falling within the scope of compulsory standards on the Copperbelt, Northwestern and Wapula provinces valued at 490,000 kwacha. ZCSD Head of Communications Brian Hatioka says the confined products were supplied on the market in the 3 provinces without authority from the agency, as required by the Compulsory Standards Act No. 3 of 2017. Mr. Hatioka says among the products confined included fruit-flavored drinks, opaque beer, portable spirits, millimil, bottled drinking water, among other products. Meanwhile, the agency has also seized 6 bales of used textile products containing undergarments in Lusaka province valued at 30,000 kwacha. Mr. Hatioka says this happened on July 19, 2023, as ZCSA officers were conducting their routine inspections in Makeni and Chawama townships of Lusaka. He says the officers came across a light truck offloading bales of used textile products along a certain road in Chawama, and that at that point the officers got interested and proceeded to verify what was contained in the bales. However, upon noticing that the ZCSA vehicle had parked a few meters in front, the driver of a small truck which was offloading bales sped off, leaving 13 bales along the road, among which were 6 containing used undergarments, which have since been seized. The Emerald Association and the Emerald and Semi-Precious Associations Mining Association of Zambia has challenged government not to hand SUGILITE mines to foreign investors. In an interview with Camnet News, Association President Victor Kalesha says local people have the capacity to mine the mineral if well organized. Mr. Kalesha further says the country is currently benefiting less from emerald mining, which was given to foreign investors, when the local people also have the capacity to mine emeralds. He says SUGILITE is one of the most expensive minerals on the market and that the country can benefit more if the sector is to be left to the locals.
That is remaining is to define geologically the extent of the SUGILITE that we have in the country and in which areas they are found. But in terms of investment, as a country, we are able to do that on our own. We don't need to bring in a foreign investor to come and mine this SUGILITE. We've been losing out enough. We've lost out on those that have been mining and been taken away illegally. We have lost out. So the remaining that we have in the ground as we define it, let's go into for it as a government or give a local investor so that we have resources remaining in the country. And I think when we discover these minerals, let's not always feel the people that discover them are illegals. These are people that should be heroes and documented, that you should be able even to name some of these minds behind those people. So the SUGILITE being discovered, and as it is, we are taking too long. Why are we taking too long to make a decision? We already have it. Let's put in local investors, equipment, put in national service with equipment. Let's mine it ourselves so that we earn resource out of that God-given resource.
The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NAKEZ, has proposed the establishment of a bank by teachers in order to avoid the current punishing bank interest rates on loans. NAKEZ Executive Director Aaron Chansa says since commercial banks and other financial institutions are offering poverty-inducing loans, there is urgent need for the teachers in Zambia to take advantage of their numbers to quickly and collectively establish a bank that would offer teachers at 5% interest or less. Mr. Chansa says 3/4 of teachers in Zambia are highly indebted, largely because of contracting very expensive loans meant for furthering their teaching qualifications. He says if government allows the formation and each one of the 135 public service teachers contribute a 450 kwacha through the payroll, more than 60 million kwacha will be raised, and Zambia will be the second country in Africa to set up a financial institution for cheaper loans for teachers.
In order for teachers to avoid contracting very expensive loans, National Action for Quality Education in Zambia is today proposing establishment of a bank for teachers, by teachers, so that we can assist our teachers to get out of high indebtedness. We are aware that most of our teachers became indebted as a result of getting loans, these very expensive loans, poverty-inducing loans, in order for them to acquire higher qualifications. And we also know that when government allows this idea to be born, we are going to allow teachers to contribute even 450 and raising more than 60 million kwacha as capital for starting this important facility. We are also aware that countries like Kenya, countries like Australia are running financial institutions for teachers, and this is the only way we are going to allow teachers to borrow for investments, borrow to repay these very expensive loans that they are servicing today.
The Engineering Institution of Zambia, EIZ, has advised government to allow for a transition period before limiting awarding of Constituency Development Fund CDF projects to local contractors only. EIZ President Abe Ongando says contractors need to build capacity through partnering with other contractors before the process is closed up. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Engineer Ongando said the lack of capacity among several contractors is leading to chaos in procurement, especially in rural areas, as several companies fell short of the criteria. Meanwhile, Kanyama Member of Parliament Monty Chinkoli has appealed to all contractors in the constituency to come forward and register themselves with the office to ease the procurement process, which is delaying implementation of construction projects. More in the following report.
The increased Constituency Development Fund CDF has provided for enhanced empowerment of local communities, including the limiting of contracts to local contractors. However, the move to award contracts to locals only has seen commencing of projects delayed due to failure by the available few to meet procurement criteria.
Everyone to come on board. If we get our people to adjust these jobs, they'll be able to employ our youths. And the issue of judges will be a thing of the past. Among other issues that has made projects to delay in Kanyama is the fact that each time South City Council advertises for these projects or supplies or whatever, if you want to call it, we don't show up to indicate that we want to. An example is this of we are trying to put up a two-story building at Twashuka school. Only 2 people indicated. And you agree with me that procurement does not allow such.
To this effect, the Engineering Institution of Zambia, EIZ, has advised government to allow for a transition period before implementation of the criteria.
So we expect to build capacity for contractors in those areas to take a bit of time. So if, for example, the government will rule that we insist on getting only contractors from those areas, then we are going to have unused money in CDF, because a lot of them don't qualify, they don't have capacity. So I think it's very important to, as government, to allow, for the time being, in the transition, we can allow other contractors from other regions, but of course they have to partner with the locals there, so that the locals can learn.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Engineer Ongando says the current situation is only creating chaos in procurement coupled with shoddy works.
But I can tell you, as EIZ, we have signed an MOU with the Ministry of Local Government, where in that MOU, we have given our, with the membership of about 75,000 members. So in that MOU, we have given our services to the Ministry of Local Government to make sure that we can train, for example, the Director of Works in all these constituencies or councils, so that we can work together.
Several constituencies across the country are having delays in implementing construction projects due to protracted procurement procedures in local authorities that is attributed to irregularities in bidding. Camnet News, Afias Kaptula in Lusaka.
Healing Word Ministries International Presiding Pastor Moses Chiluba has called on citizens to turn to the Bible, which he says has solutions to all their challenges. Speaking during a Sunday sermon, Pastor Chiluba says living by the teachings of the Bible is key to ensuring a better life, adding that ignorance is costly. He says citizens should begin to consider frequenting the church as a norm for God's will to be eminent on one's life, as the church is open for all who seek Him.
So, the things that are here, ladies and gentlemen, in here, these are instructions for life. And anybody who follows the Bible and do what the Bible says, I can tell you, you live long and you enjoy being a Christian. But if you just want to come here because you are born again, because you've been in church long, it can't work for you. This place, it's a place for instructions. Just as I'm giving instructions, I am also taking. Because this is not a one-sided sword. It's a double-edged sword. It cuts the congregation, it cuts the preacher. It ministers to the church, it ministers to this is what the Bible is all about. The problems that we face as a nation are all found in the two covers of this book. The problems that we face and the solution of those problems are all found in between the two covers of this book, and he held the Bible, President Ronald Reagan. The house of the Lord is not just there for fellowship. The house of the Lord is a place where to offload the issues of the heart. Amen. Where to offload what? Say it out loud.
This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for more news after the break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Hello Zambia. Greetings to all soccer-loving Zambians. I'm Dr. Stenkusi from the Czech Republic, and I will bring with me soccer agent Mr. Jakub Skibik and the coach Mr. Pavel Ondrečka, both from the Czech Republic as well. The Football League in the Czech Republic is a qualitative and competitive league in the world. Knowing that, there are a lot of highly talented footballers in Zambia. The all of us will be visiting Zambia from the 2nd to 6th of August 2023 in partnership with Camnet Football Academy. Agent and coach will come to Lusaka, Zambia to look at promising young Zambian players. Chances are that hard-working players may get engagement in the Czech Republic and including other European leagues. We look forward to seeing you at the tournament, which will be organized by Pastor Moses Chiluba of Camnet Television. See you soon!
Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters this coming Monday, 24th July 2023, as they discuss honoring our national heroes.
The Constitution of South Africa. And yet when Mr. Paul Lusaka died, Zambia did not even celebrate that hero. He went to the grave, plain coffin provided for by the government of South Africa. And Zambia is one country where we do not sing songs for our heroes.
With his guest, Mr. Fabian Mumba.
Where we see certain things going wrong, I think let's speak behind the scenes. Now I'm here like a movie, but I think my conscience will be clear, but I've told you.
Time, 20:45 hours.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. A US-based cardiac expert has urged members of the public to be alert of cardiac-related illnesses by looking out for symptoms and seeking screening early. Dr. Prerna Sharma says cardiac-related illnesses are fatal when diagnosed late, hence the need for members of the public to seek screening when experiencing short breath, chest pains, among other symptoms. Dr. Sharma was speaking at Morning Star Clinic in Lusaka, where she is part of the Cardiac Health Mission Trip 2nd edition from the United States. A lab director and at SUGILITE laboratory, which is also taking part in the 7-day health mission, says some of the services to be provided include full cardiac profile and silent indicators of disease screening. More in the following report.
According to the World Health Organization (WHO), cardiac diseases (CVDs) are a leading cause of death globally, taking an estimated 17.9 million lives each year. The CVDs are a group of disorders of the heart and blood vessels, which include coronary heart disease, rheumatic heart disease, and other conditions. In reducing the diseases, screening examinations have been advised to find disease before symptoms begin or even the illness worsens. As part of this global cardiac screening efforts, a group of doctors from the United States of America, USA, is in the country under a Cardiac Health Mission 2nd Trip edition to conduct screening. The doctors have set base at Morning Star Clinic in Lusaka, Minwood, Ibex.
But in terms of just not screening, there could be, accelerated progression of disease if it's untreated. So something that could have been treated and avoided now can probably get worse if it's not recognized a year from now or 2 years from now. So it's very important for patients who have symptoms like chest pain or dyspnea on exertion, meaning shortness of breath when you're doing your exercise or anything like that, to get screened by a physician.
Dr. Sharma says the group also hopes to have knowledge transfer with its counterparts during the exercise.
We are doing workshops here at the National Heart Hospital and giving lectures about various medical conditions related to the heart and otherwise. For example, I work in the ICU, so we're going to talk about critical care management after cardiac surgeries, and these lectures to provide either just skill training lectures about how we practice there in the United States, and have a more comprehensive multidisciplinary discussion and back and forth with physicians here, so we get to know how they're practicing and they get to know how we're practicing.
The doctors are working in partnership with SUGILITE Zambia laboratory to handle specific cases as directed by the cardiac experts.
And as SUGILITE, we're also here to provide laboratory support for the tests that will be done or ordered by the cardiologists that have come through. So as SUGILITE, apart from what they're doing here as a laboratory, we will be there to provide the full testing profile and backup for whatever test that will be required.
The Cardiac Health Mission Trip 2nd edition commenced on 21st July, paused on Saturday 22nd July, and resumed Sunday, ending on the 27th. It is therefore hoped that members of the public will take advantage of this opportunity to screen for various cardiac-related illnesses. Camnet News, Kaptula Afias in Lusaka.
Community Action Against Corruption, CASA, has urged parliamentarians to reject and not entertain the proposed debate for the reintroduction of the Ministry of Religious Affairs when it is tabled in Parliament this week. Organization Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo says when the ministry was in existence, it failed to live up to its expectation and failed to protect innocent Zambians from the brutality of the Patriotic Front government and unprecedented corruption in the country. Mr. Tembo says the ministry was also used as a political mouthpiece and had no intentions of upholding moral and Christian values in the people of Zambia.
We can only appeal to the members of parliament not to entertain but to reject the proposal for the reintroduction of the Ministry of Religious Affairs in Parliament when it is tabled this week. You know, our rejection or objection to the proposed reintroduction of that ministry is based on the fact that, you know, when this ministry was in existence, Zambians experienced a lot of atrocities that includes brutality, killings, and corruption under the watch of that ministry, which was expected to teach moral guidance and Christian values, not only to the Zambians, but to the people in government who introduced that ministry. So to us, that ministry was introduced not to help creating a better Zambia. That ministry was just introduced to create a picture or to portray a picture that the people who were in government by then were God-fearing Christians who introduced that ministry. But the actual sense of introducing that ministry was to hoodwink the people to believe that we were under a religious and God-fearing government.
A political analyst has charged that it will be baseless for the opposition Patriotic Front officials to claim political persecution in the case of Kawambwa Member of Parliament Nixon Chilangwa's alleged absence before the courts of law. Joseph Selisho says no one is above the law and that every citizen is subject to follow the due process of the law when called upon. Mr. Selisho explains that in accordance with the law, when it is alleged to have committed an offense, they need to answer to the allegations leveled against them. He has since wondered why the Kawambwa lawmaker disregarded the law with impunity by absconding court sessions when the law states that one is innocent until proven guilty.
I don't think so, because in this country, Zambia, we have a strong legal framework which gives provisions and guidance on how individuals that are accused or there are allegations about them, how they should proceed. The law provides that everybody is not guilty until proven guilty. And now, if you are not guilty, why shouldn't you follow the normal procedures of the legal requirements? It is an allegation that you take yourself, present yourself, and the accuser should prove. If there is no evidence, such a person is free. Because if you look at the United States of America, big individuals like Trump, he's been abiding by the legal framework of that country by attending such court cases. Why? Because he's a law-abiding citizen. They want to hear more for those that are making those allegations. If they have evidence, then the law will take its course. Similarly, in Zambia, we have such legal framework that is quite strong from time of independence up to date. And of course, we are constantly updating our regulations to ensure that we are in norm with international standards.
Chikankata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Sabao has hailed government for prioritizing agriculture through early distribution of farming inputs. Speaking when she led the Zambia Women Parliamentarians Caucus delegation in touring series of projects in her constituency, Ms. Sabao says a timely distribution of the vital commodity will greatly transform agricultural sector by not only improving the production but also the quality of crops. She has further appealed to the people of her constituency to show keen interest in agriculture, adding that the sector can generate a lot of income and create employment. And commenting on Women Parliamentarians Caucus visit, Chief Nalwama of the Tonga-speaking people in Chikankata district called for more engagements and sensitization of the female gender, adding that the inferiority is causing the low turnout of women's participation in national matters.
One by 3 classroom block. Where we are here, it's Kasengo Ward, and this is Kumpisha zone. This area, they don't have a school. We only have a community school, which is on the other side. So as CDF, under 2022, we thought of giving them this 1 by 3 as a starting point for them to have a good school. And we are planning that come 2024, we'll give them another block so that it can be a full-fledged school.
So, bonse bantu balipotetwa ambako agaberegeroga.
Ndena contract yasa inwagale irashuka ku council akambo kulaba kubadala mali mani. So twagambani haira 2 years 2021 na 2022 22 tembo mbubo. Ino ndanda ulanda mbire yitikide ku fertilizer ko twendera no mwe ayima ndambire. Twendera ali amagana na fertilizer uno mwaga. Takuchemuhite. Mwabonaga ano ponda ambaula mashedo biro kujira nkataga zulagale fertilizer ya uno mwaga.
To open up to come on the 8th years here in the village here. Once you open up, it will be easy for them now to join the multitude they are there.
ZESCO Limited has cautioned its customers to regard seriously the electricity prepaid meter upgrade before the 24th of November 2024 in order to continue having access to electricity in their households. ZESCO Manager, Customer Relations Engineer Sebastian Mainza says the power utility company is considering other smart and efficient ways of ensuring software updates for its customers and that they are done promptly. Engineer Mainza says that while the prepaid meter software is in its last phase with Northern, Luapula and Muchinga provinces, the power utility company is devising a smart mechanism to update the software of the prepaid meters online after 2030. He says this will ease challenges that may be currently faced with the current update of the prepaid system.
Some units in the drawers. You bought some units just maybe last year, and you are keeping them for future use. You should enter those units, or unused units or token, they should be recharged before you do the upgrade of the meter, upgraded. So come 24th November 2024, you don't expect any problem. And this is the one-off, it's a one-off program. You can only do this particular project again after 31.9 years. By then, this will have moved into smart metering where the customers don't be involved. We just update through the system and you have no role to play at the end of the day. You just see the system being upgraded. So ZESCO is moving to the smart metering, and that's a journey that ZESCO has embarked on. And sooner or later, customers will be able to receive this type of a metering system.
We'll take a break. Join us for international sports news afterwards.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RainGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Join Pastor Moses Chiluba on National Matters this coming Monday, 24th July 2023, as they discuss honoring our national heroes.
The Constitution of South Africa. And yet when Mr. Paul Lusaka died, Zambia did not even celebrate that hero. He went to the grave, plain coffin provided for by the government of South Africa. And Zambia is one country where we do not sing songs for our heroes.
With his guest, Mr. Fabian Mumba, former senior principal, private secretary, State House.
Where we see certain things going wrong, I think let's speak behind the scenes. Now but I think my conscience will be clear, but I've told you.
Time, 20:45 hours.
Invite others to participate through phoning on Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, and text messages. Make a date with us. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello Zambia. Greetings to all soccer-loving Zambians. I'm Dr. Stenpusi from the Czech Republic, and I will bring with me soccer agent Mr. Jakub Skibik and the coach Mr. Pavel Ondrečka, both from the Czech Republic as well. The Football League in the Czech Republic is a qualitative and competitive league in the world. Knowing that, there are a lot of highly talented footballers in Zambia. The all of us will be visiting Zambia from the 2nd to 6th of August 2023 in partnership with Camnet Football Academy, agent and coach will come to Lusaka, Zambia to look at promising young Zambian players. Chances are that hard-working players may get engagement in the Czech Republic and including other European leagues. We look forward to seeing you at the tournament, which will be organized by Pastor Moses Chiluba of Camnet television. See you soon.
Welcome back. And now in international news, at least 35 civilians have been shot dead by police in Kenya this month during protests over new taxes and the rising cost of living. 27-year-old Douglas Kalasinga is thought to be one of them. Relatives say he was shot on while at work, pushing a handcart of water cans and not taking part in demonstrations. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
At least 35 civilians have been shot dead by police in Kenya this month during protests over new taxes and the rising cost of living. 27-year-old Douglas Kalasinga is thought to be one of them. Relatives say he was shot on Thursday while at work pushing a handcart of water cans and wasn't taking part in demonstrations. We want action to be taken against the police officer who was shooting randomly, he says. Why would they shoot at people, even those carrying water, those going about their business? When you meet the police, should they help you or kill you? If he was demonstrating, the police should have dispersed them. Why would you shoot at somebody's child? What will happen to your child tomorrow? President William Ruto has praised police actions, but many Kenyans accuse him of making life unbearable with taxes on fuel and other essentials and rising food costs.
Police
should not come to shoot people, he says. They should arrest suspects and investigate. Right now, people are struggling to survive. People are suffering because of hunger and the cost of living is high. If I decide to go and demonstrate, I'm not going there to throw stones at anyone or steal. Why should you profile me? Human rights organizations have expressed concern over the police actions and urged their watchdog to prosecute officers found guilty.
Rescue teams resume work despite the rain and strong winds. They had halted efforts on Thursday due to bad weather. The hilltop location and tough terrain are hindering operations.
The height of the site is around 950 metres from the ground, and the trek from here is about 2.8 kilometres. We're also facing the huge challenge of not being able to carry heavy equipment, which is why everything is being done manually.
Several bodies were recovered after Thursday's landslide, about 60 kilometres from Mumbai. Houses have been flattened and streets submerged, and dozens are still missing. Heavy rains have also battered the neighbouring state of Gujarat. Some areas are submerged, isolating villages. Rising water levels in dams and overflowing rivers are raising concerns about flooding.
The water has entered our houses and everything is damaged. There is water everywhere, inside shops and in houses. We have suffered a lot of losses as the water came suddenly from the nearby area.
Monsoon rains remain well below normal at the start of the season in June. But heavy rains this month have led to flooding across several regions. In the last 2 weeks, capital New Delhi witnessed the worst flooding in more than 40 years. And it's not over yet, as officials are forecasting heavy rain in the coming days. Kulsum Sharif, Al Jazeera.
In our sports news tonight, under pouring rain in the New Zealand capital, Elstead jumped highest and squeezed the ball home to save her team's blushes after they were left frustrated by the African champions for much of the opening hour of the game. The result left the third-ranked Swedes top of their group before Italy and Argentina play their opener in Auckland on Monday. South Africa, ranked 54th, were looking for their first World Cup win on their second appearance at the tournament, having exited in the group stage in 2019 without picking up a point. On the FIFA Women's World Cup note, we come to the end of the news tonight. Before we go, the headlines once again. Police officers allegedly assault a bus driver. A mining association challenges government not to hand SUGILITE to foreign investors. Healing Word Ministries presiding pastor Moses Chiluba says ignorance is costly. In international news, Kenyan family demand answers over police killing. And in sports news, South Africa loses their opening match at the FIFA Women's World Cup. Our comment verse of the day is coming from the book of Hebrews 10, verse 21. And since we have a great priest over the house of God, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart and with the full assurance that faith brings, having our hearts sprinkled to cleanse us from a guilty conscience and having our bodies washed with pure water. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Siambo. Bye-bye.